But then the league issued the warning. So now it's not about how I feel, how you feel, how Wendy feels, or whatever. It's about the industry you voluntarily decided to enter, and there's rules and regulations that you have to capitulate to whether you like them or not. And so when you come out in the immediate aftermath of the warning from the NBA and you ignore them, knowing you had an 8-game suspension in 2023 and then a 25-game suspension in 2023, now it's like, my brother, how smart is that? How smart is that? Now, to the league, I would say to you, I want to applaud the league from the standpoint of not doing anything the first go-around because they said there was not malintent. And there isn't. We see a lot of different gestures going on in the league. The NFL has banned a lot of it. The NBA, some people feel needs to ban some of it. We get that part, right? And when Josh says he's taken a lot of negativity, that's where he loses me. No, bro, you took a lot of negativity for those 2 suspensions. Prior to that, all anybody talked about was what a superstar that you were, how you were one of the preeminent faces of the up-and-coming preeminent faces of the league, and what you were going to mean to the game. And this year, what we've lamented is the fact that we haven't seen the consistent level of greatness that we know you possess on a night-in, night-out basis compared to what we saw in the past. When I went to the Garden to watch Memphis, I'm sitting courtside watching Memphis and the Knicks. Ja Morant didn't show up that night. Why was I looking forward to going to the game? Because the Ja Morant that we all know and love, the bigger the stage, the more that brother shows up. In the past, I didn't see that night. And so you're just looking at him and you're saying, this negativity, what are you talking about? Because even though you had those suspensions, Wendy, I don't recall anybody bringing that up. We certainly didn't bring that up on this show. We've talked about his game, and we've talked about, yo, we know you great. You got to work on that J, and he's been hitting 3-pointers over the last few games. Props to him. But that's what we talked about. Because when Ja Morant is spectacular, looking at the other spectacular talent that's in the league, why would we want to root against that? We want you to succeed. We want you to be who you have been. We want you to be great because that makes it better for all of us. And so this notion that there's this negativity raining down upon him, I think that's one of the problems that exist with this generation. It's like somebody says one thing, and all of a sudden the 99 things that you say positive has been forgotten about. Ja Morant, no one is rooting against you, bro. Everybody wants you to, not everybody, because you always got some haters out there, but for the most part, people who appreciate the game, who appreciate your greatness, and we want to see you be great. Don't let nonsense like this get in the way. I think it's much ado about nothing. I don't think that he should be excoriated for this, but the league said otherwise. That's who you work with and for. You have to accept that. That's just the way it goes.
Wendy.
I'm going to leave the debate about whether or not players should be disciplined for gun gestures aside. That's a topic that is multifaceted. Other leagues have different rules. I'm going to leave that aside. I'm going to leave Ja Morant's decision to poke the league in the face, which the fastest way to get in trouble with Adam Silver is to show him up publicly.
Yes.
Which he has done before, and he has now done again. I think anybody can tell. You don't have to be like a seasoned NBA agent or something to say that's not a good idea. I'm going to talk about the mindset that Ja Morant had coming into this game. The Grizzlies are a team that is in a borderline crisis. They have just fired their successful head coach with less than 15 games left in the season and brought in a coach who had never been on an NBA sideline before this season. That is a major gamble. They have lost 7 out of 8 games coming into this game, which means that they have completely lost their positioning in the West. We just were talking about how the difference between being the 3 and being the 4 or the 5 and the 6, and my gosh, the 6 and the 7, where you're going to have to be in a play-in situation, is all huge. They have lost 7 of 8 games. They're coming into Miami in a game where they are in a must-win situation. Miami's won 6 in a row. And you need to get off to a great start because Miami is coming off a huge win. You have a rest advantage on them. They had just beaten Boston.
Yep.
Ja Morant comes into this game and 4 minutes into this game does this. 4 minutes. He's distracting his team in a vitally important game. That's where I'm going to just say I don't get it. Because, look, ultimately at the end of the day, Ja Morant has to score. He has to lead his team. He hits the game winner in this. He makes a brilliant move on an isolation situation to create the shot. I didn't like that after the game he mocked Khalil Ware, who he was defending him on the play. But listen, if you make the game winning shot, you can talk your talk. I didn't love it.
Exactly. I don't mind that.
But whatever. I'm talking more about the mindset that he has coming into the game. And they won. And I guess at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But this is what the thing has been about Ja Morant. It's one thing for him to make decisions that affect his reputation. It's another thing to make decisions that affect his team. And when he makes decisions that affect his team, that's when it's fair to question it. And I question him coming into this game intending to stick his finger in the NBA's eye.
Let me say this, because it's a couple of things are very important. Number one, you're absolutely right. And he doesn't need to be doing that. He needs to be doing more of what he did last night, feeding off the booze, feeding off the level of competition. You know, talk about a pigeon guarding him and all of this other stuff. Well, you know what? That's fair game. You got to show up and you got to shut his mouth. I mean, he talked the talk, he backed it up. People hating on him. Hell, that's a Ja Morant I want to see. I mean, I don't mind that at all. But here's what people need to understand when it comes to Commissioner Adam Silver. And I'm not speaking out of turn. Wendy, you know him. I've known Adam Silver for over 20 plus years. Let me tell you something. This is a man who firmly believes he has been incredibly, incredibly fair to players. He believes he's been lenient on many occasions where obviously his predecessor would not have been. And so when Wendy brings up the point of showing him up, of defying, you know, a rule that would come down from the league office, what I'm going to tell y'all is something I've noticed about Adam Silver and talking to him over the last couple of years. He's getting tired of this. He's getting tired of people trying to mistake his kindness for weakness. Be careful, because the man does have the potential to get medieval on you if he has to. You understand? And it's one of those situations where people need to understand, especially if you're a player, his belief is that he's been very understanding and very supportive of the players. And don't push him, or you might find out something you don't want to find out.
Young players see the NBA as a sport. Veteran players, experienced players, guys who grow up and have some wisdom, they see the NBA as a business. The business of the NBA is getting a lot of people to watch the product. How do you get a lot of people to watch the product? You win the mom. If you win the mom, you win the household. If you win the household, the product can be on TV. Professional wrestling realized this a while ago. The blood, the swearing, everything, very popular during the Attitude Era. Wipe that out, mom's happy, kids are watching, it's okay to be, and then the revenue goes up. It's a business. Morant has yet to figure out it's not a sport, it's a business. Giannis had a career night last night. If this version of the Greek Freak shows up come playoff time, how worried does Stephen A. think the East should be? And the projected #1 pick, Cooper Flagg, takes center stage in the Final Four. Is he the star our guys trust the most? Heated debate coming next.